I'm Robert P. Fitton, and this is a quick synopsis of Exchange House, part of the House series. How awful it must be for Maddie Summers, day after day in Arizona, with a husband who doesn't care anything about his own ego and achievement. An artist, Maddie Summers is caught in the throes of an abusive marriage. The best her husband can do is leave her roses once in a while around the house. A gentle, sensitive soul, Maddie can't take it anymore. She shares her concerns with her close friend, Deborah, and then she separates from her husband, John, after all the physical and emotional turmoil. John is out of the house. Maddie peruses a country magazine and sees an ad for an exchange house where she could switch houses with a company in Rexford, Maine. This is her chance to be content away from John and his antics. And what a sense of relief Maddie feels 4 weeks after the separation, as she flies across country and rents a car to drive up the State Highway 102, the foliage at its peak, to Rexford, Maine. She meets a powerful man, Daniel McCabe, the exchange house's caretaker. Maddie can sense that the slower way of life, away from the freeways and malls, is now within reach. McCabe is very accommodating and offers to help her with the rental, which is not running well, and brings it to Belson's garage downtown in Rexford. Maddie meets Preb, and others at a diner while she waits for her car. Preb tells her to call his wife, Abby, if she needs anything. A toothless man with a ponytail, Raymond Snowden, who is a mechanic at Belson's, repeatedly stares at her. The car will remain at the garage while being fixed. Raymond Snowden savors a cigarette back at the garage. McCabe calls him Little Raymond Big Man. McCabe then drives Maddie in his truck, a polished black pickup, over to the exchange house, which was always known as the Fairbanks House, a 19th century home on the rocky cliffs overlooking the Atlantic. She will be alone and 5 miles from town. Politeness seemed too good to be true for McCabe. He has a military background. It's as if McCabe knew everything about her. McCabe wants to buy her dinner at Brisky Whiskey's, but is miffed when she says no. McCabe leaves abruptly and says, "I'll see you." He leaves her on the farmer's porch, overlooking the blue ocean in the distance. Now she's completely alone amidst the yellow-green birches and the radiant-hued maples. The house is freshly painted, with the stone foundation high above the sloshing surf below and the sandy shore between the marshes and the breaking waves. Later, she apologizes to McCabe, and they go out later in the week to Brisky Whiskey's. She trusts McCabe more now. Alone, Maddie is preoccupied with every creak and crack in the house. She's harassed by eerie phone calls on an old rotary dial phone. Hiss and crackling fill the speaker as cars roll by, and chiming is in the background. She spots the basement window, not open before, but cracked open now. She talks to DR. John had called DR and said that he was sorry. There's evidence that John has been on the property or with his signature rose in one of Maddie's bureau drawers. She calls his phone and tells him to stay away, and she'll call her attorney and to get out of her life. The 2 lawnmower blades are then missing a short time later. The old-fashioned ringing on the phone keeps scaring her as she stays alone at the house. She finds out things about McCabe that she doesn't like. He left the Marines with a dishonorable discharge. He was a prosecutor. Somebody harassed him in the courtroom, and McCabe killed him with his bare hands. It was manslaughter because of some knife incident. He had 2 wives and a gamut of women. The last wife died a few years ago and is buried near the Congregational Church. As a fierce storm hits the coast, someone on the property cuts the phone wires, and Maddie is forced to flee for her life. Somebody is trying to kill her. She backtracks along the shed, moving in the shadows for the dim graveyard trail deeper into the woods. Someone is shuffling along in the leaves. Several times she falls, water dripping from the trees. A rifle crack breaks the chilled silence. She jumps into an old foundation shielded by stone as fog creeps up the hill. Indefinite shadows dance around in the fog. She crawls onto the wet grass as the rifle cracks again. She backs up as lightning flashes throughout the area, followed by thunder. She lobs stones toward the rifle's blast and hits the intruder. On the trail's slippery leaves, she rounds the rocks. She emerges near the garage. McCabe's truck is still out front. Bullets cut through the new wood as she runs toward the cliff, onto the small ledge. There are more shots as she emerges onto the cliff. McCabe's headlights highlight the area. She steps forward but slips, hurts her ankle, and falls onto the lower ledge. The wind is knocked out of her. As she wakes up, there's a shadow pacing alone on the top of the ridge. Down the rocky trail, there's 2 feet of ledge to a 50-foot drop. The gravel trickles down the rocky ledge above. The new moon opens up through the fog and highlights the sands along the beach. It is not until the final moments with her life in the balance that Maddie finally realizes the identity of the assailant. Exchange House is available at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. The audio is available at Audible.com and iTunes. This is Robert P. Fitton, and this has been a quick synopsis for Exchange House, part of the House series.